Now joined by Professor Daniel Meyer from the School of Public Management at the University of Johannesburg. Prof, a very good afternoon to you. Thanks very much for your time. Just what you make of President Donald Trump's announcements last night.
Yes, good afternoon and thank you. Look, I've predicted this trade war a while ago. The trade war has officially started, and President Trump has got 4 years, and every day that he's going to be the president of the United States, he wants to do something with regard to his election campaign. And he's promised everybody there's going to be trade issues coming up. This is really not a surprise to me. He's going to equalize things in terms of the American trade balance. America has got a negative trade balance with most countries, and the US is the biggest market in the world. It's double the size of the European market, double the size of China. It's basically 50 countries in 50 states in one country. Only 5 of the American states has got a smaller economy than South Africa. So it is a massive economy, and everybody wants to trade with the US. They have got a unequal, let's say, unequal trade relationship with most countries, including South Africa. If the US wants to export to South Africa automotive vehicles and parts, they pay 25% trade tariffs, and South Africa pays 0 up to now. And is correcting in terms of his policy, the US policy, is correcting these historical trade tariffs that's been there for many decades. Unfortunately, he's done it in one day now, and it's going to have a shockwave through the whole of the world. But it's basically economics 101. You want to have a positive trade balance with all of the countries. Exports means economic growth. Import means it's a leakage to the economy. So it's basically what he calls the MAGA, Make America Great Again. He's going to have these protection measures for his own industries. But do they have a long-term strategy? Because these things take a long time to fix. Over decades, he's had this negative trade balance with other countries, with the tariffs. Hopefully, they have got a long-term strategy that's already been put in place. I'm not sure about that. There's many uncertainties about what's happened, but it's not a surprise. If President Ramaphosa says this is a big surprise, I don't think so. It's not a big surprise. And President Trump has also indicated countries must come up and negotiate. This is just the start. We're going to work from here. It can go up or it can go down, depending what other countries' response will be. Norway and other countries already responded to say they're going to come and negotiate. South Africa needs to send business people to the US that knows what's happening, that knows what's the benefits and where we need to improve on, and then discuss and negotiate how we can rectify the situation.
But does President Trump have as free a hand as he seems to believe? Can he be all gung-ho about it without other people retaliating or finding ways of evening things out?
It seems like he has put the cat amongst the chickens here, definitely, and most countries will take some time to respond. To retaliate, let's take example South Africa. How do we retaliate that? We've already got free trade with the US. Now the free trade could possibly be gone. The AGOA agreement could be gone. But America hasn't got any free trade to South Africa. They've got this 25% at least for exports to South Africa. How do you retaliate if you have been benefiting the last more than 2 decades? So it is like a correction that happened, but really fast. It's a shockwave through everybody. The economy globally is going to be affected. South African rand has dropped. It's weakened today a lot. The JSE has dropped 4%. It's down 4%. Interestingly, currently the Wall Street is up at 0.5%, and then the Nikkei in Japan is down 2.8%. It's going to affect economies differently, and as I said, there needs to be negotiation. You cannot now tell the US, okay, you're going to pay 40% for imports of motor vehicles to South Africa. That's not going to happen because the US has got this huge market. They have got most of the power in their hand. They've got a huge consumer market. And globally, even China wants a piece of that consumer market. The growth in China has been driven by their exports. They haven't got a local consumer market like the US got. They need to have exports and they need to find new markets. And new markets to find is not easy.
But I mean, the announcements that President Trump made last night affected all of the United States' major trading partners. But are your Chinas, your European unions, as vulnerable as, say, a South Africa and Lesotho are?
I don't think they are so vulnerable because South Africa and SADC is quite isolated in terms of world economy. Europe has got their own countries. There's many countries that they can trade with. Asia has got big economies that they can trade with. The US has got their 50 states. They are trading with each other. South Africa, I think our motor industry makes up 30% of the manufacturing sector. And as you know, the manufacturing sector is going down. The last 2-3 decades, it's been very slow growth in the manufacturing sector. And the automotive sector is subsidized by the government also. And this exports to the US by our vehicles. I think it's Mercedes-Benz, as well as BMW is exporting left-hand drive vehicles to the US. It's going to have a huge impact on that industry plus the manufacturing sector. So it is very, very urgent. And we've been saying this. I don't think government sees this as urgent to go and discuss things with the US by sending business people there that knows what's happening. They will not trust politicians to come there. Maybe they can discuss with business people. That could have a solution for our big problem. But we need to discuss and find a solution to this. Otherwise, the manufacturing sector, which is the economic growth sector, will be going down.
Well, the Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition just confirmed a short while ago that he will be, I mean, he was from where he was speaking to captains of industry, he was going to address the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. And a little later on, he will be going to the U.S. and they will be taking with them a delegation of business people, economists, a diverse group. And this was also confirmed earlier in the week by the Department of International Relations, who had just come back from addressing the United Nations General Assembly, and while in the U.S. also met with a whole range of people, including politicians. What, though, do all these people tell, whether it's Donald Trump himself or people who listen to him or whoever has influence in what he says and does?
I'm happy if they're going to send people that's going to talk sense there and not politics, because as you said in the introduction, our economy is directed to the West, the US, Europe, but our foreign policies are not directed to the West. It's basically focused on the global South. And there's going to be some statements needed to convince the Trump administration that we are not only global South focused with our international relationships, like a relationship with other countries that's not friends with the US. We are basically friends with all of the enemies of the US in our relationship. So why will they then be interested to work with us if there's so many other countries in the world that they can work with? So we need to take Ford, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, all of the manufacturers that is exporting to the US with, and see if they can convince. We have got minerals, but many countries are exporting minerals. So we could be replaced very easily. And the market of the US is so big. As I said, all of the countries want to trade with the US. To trade with South Africa is not on the top of the list of everybody like for the US. They've got a huge market. And South Africa needs to protect. We've been saying this for 2-3 months already this year, We are not interested to speak to them so far. And now suddenly, when this happened, now we want to send people there, but we were not very urgent up to date to go there and try to convince and basically beg and negotiate how can we save AGOA, which supports our automotive as well as our agricultural sector massively. So we cannot lose that, and we all now lost it already. We're not going to wait until September when it's expiring. It's now. It's today. So we cannot now create a task team to investigate what's happening. It's already been happened. Trump will take quick decisions, maybe not 100% informed, because you can see on the list of countries the trade tariffs and so on. It is guesstimates. It's not 100% correct even. But South Africa has listed as 30%. That's going to increase all our goods to the US and 25% for motor industry. It is a massive blow to our economy. There's many studies being done. It will have a huge impact on jobs, on growth, on everything. Now we've got the VAT that's going to increase. That's going to increase our inflation. It doesn't look good if we are having these type of macroeconomic policies.
Professor Daniel Meyer, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it.